Oh, hello there. Today I'm going to talk to you about an important security update for all WordPress sites. Because lately WordPress sites have been the victim of what are called brute force attacks, which is where a hacker basically just tries all of the different passwords and usernames until they get yours correctly. And because WordPress sites don't log out or lock out after unsuccessful login attempts, there's nothing stopping a hacker from guessing a million different passwords. And we're all guilty of using that default admin username. So it means that instead of a hacker having to guess both the username and password, a lot of the time they only have to guess the password because they just assume it's going to be admin, or they at least start with the username of admin because so many WordPress sites use it, myself included. But there's a plugin that I'm going to show you how to install today called Limit Login Attempts, and it allows you to actually lock people out after a certain amount of unsuccessful login attempts. So if you log into your WordPress dashboard, and then we go to Plugins and Add New, and then we're going to search for just Limit Login. You see it here in my history. First one that comes up in the list for me is Limit Login Attempts. So we're going to install that, and then we'll activate it here in a second. Cool. So let's activate it. And I like to do a little bit of configuration for it first. So if you go under Settings, you can go to Limit Login Attempts. I personally don't like to lock out after just 4, because to me that's kind of an amount that people, like a real person, could do. So I'm kind of more inclined to do like 10 retries, and then instead of, we could leave it at a 20-minute lockout. And then once they've been locked out 4 times, you can increase the time. I personally, instead of doing 24 hours, kind of like to do like a few days or a week. So if we do like 100 hours or something like that. Because, when I think about it, I'm just trying to think about what would a person do. If someone forgets their password 10 times, I'd expect that by the time they've forgotten it like 4 or 5 times, they'll probably do a password reset, especially if they get locked out. And I really can't see a human getting locked out 4 times. So doing that to 100 hours. Now, to put this in perspective, you might be saying, well, they still get to do, basically 40 attempts each time before they're locked out for 100 hours or whatever. But, to be able to successfully guess your password, even with a weak password, assuming you're not using something like password or 12345, even with a weak password of like 10 or 12 all lowercase letters, there's still millions of potential passwords that have to be tried. So unless yours is something generic, it's still going to take them a lot of time to go through all the potential passwords. So doing something like this is a great way to keep them out, and I can guarantee you that you're going to be very glad you did this, because you can actually have it notify you on lockouts. So you can actually click the email to admin after 4 lockouts, and that will send an email to whatever you've configured as your admin address. So I'll show you how to check that. So let's click Change Options. And then if we go to General Settings, we see that for this one, this is a new site I'm working on, the email address is Zach@learnwithzach. So if there's ever a lockout, I'm going to be notified at this address. And if I do a quick little search, let me search for lockout maybe. Here we go. So see this one right here, so it's WordPress, too many failed login attempts. We see that there's been this IP address right here has tried to hack into my admin account before, and it's been locked out 10 times since setting up this plugin. So I am very glad I set up the plugin, because I can tell my site's been tried to be hacked. Very poor grammar in that sentence, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I can tell that someone's attempted to hack my admin account, and that would totally suck if my admin account got hacked. So go install that plugin right now and sleep easily knowing your stuff is way more secure. If you're kind of new to WordPress and a lot of this is confusing, be sure to check out my step-by-step WordPress training. And if you have questions, of course, leave a comment, like the YouTube channel, that sort of thing. Thanks a lot.